Hello and welcome to Business Today Television. I'm Karishma and joining me today is Secretary Revenue, Mr. Sanjay Malhotra. Sir, thank you for joining us on India Today Group.
My pleasure.
I'd like to start off by, of course, asking you about the big decision that the 50th GST Council made, and this is on the 28% on GST on online gaming. Now, while Madam Finance Minister has reiterated that it has been a unanimous decision, I'd like to understand from you what has been the major motive behind this. Is it the social angle? Is it the revenue angle?
Yeah, so first thing, see, it is only a reiteration, as you said, or a confirmation of the earlier stand of the department that online games, when played for stakes, as opposed to online games, not played for stakes, will be taxed at the rate of 28%. There was certainly a consideration, because when we are imposing any tax, considerations of equity and fair play and what other similar activities, how they are being taxed and at what rate is important. And so if you compare online games with entertainment, even if you compare it with entertainment, some of the entertainment activities like entry into sporting events, for example, IPL, or just the mere entry into a casino or into a horse racing club, these also attract a rate of 28%. And in fact, some of the members even compared the tax rates being presently paid by the online gaming companies, which effectively worked out to only about 2 to 3%, with the tax rates on food, which even a common citizen consumes and pays taxes on them, where the tax rates are of the order of at least 5%. Right. If not, for some of them it goes up to even 18%, as you are aware. So in line with that, certainly, yes, the social angle, the social dimension, the equity angle, all these things were considered, and you are aware that this has been a deliberation which has been going on for a very, very long time. So it was a well thought out decision. It was taken after due consultations with all the stakeholders, including, the casino industry, the online gaming industry, and keeping the overall public interest in mind.
Great. You did mention about the casino industry, and I'd like to just get some information on this. Now, Goa and Sikkim, these two states, there were early reports that they were against the decision because, of course, casinos gets their maximum revenue from their tourism aspect. Was there some kind of discussion on if they would be helped in some other way, or were they okay going ahead with the 28% on hold?
No, all discussions relating to all the three games, three activities, that is online gaming, horse racing and casinos, all these were considered. It is not the mandate of the council actually to go into other aspects of revenue or compensation, and so those were not deliberated upon.
Great, got it. So one question, of course, this has been a decision that you've been deliberating on for long, but if I may ask, have these online companies started to reach out to you, because they're clearly unhappy with the decision, and they're expecting if the government could review or expect a rollback in some or the other way?
We had the GUM, you are aware that there was a GUM, a group of ministers, which was formed. It submitted its report. The report was sent back to the GUM by the council. So the GUM again, looked into it. They consulted the online gaming industry, as the others, as I mentioned earlier. Even I had personally met, the gaming industry, representatives of the gaming industry, before this decision was taken, to understand the whole issue and their views. They have not reached out. As of now, they have not reached out, but they are welcome to reach out. We are always open for consultations, but whether the decision will be reviewed, that's not something for me to decide. It's the council's decision. The decision has been taken just recently. It has been taken after due deliberations. It has been taken after consultations. And so in light of that, I really don't think that there is any possibility of reviewing the decision on, on merits. yes, there can be discussions on, no, there is room for discussions on how you implement it going forward, because, while, as I said, the taxes have to be, equitable, they have to be efficient, they have to be also, easy to implement. So if we have to implement them, how easy we can make it for the gaming companies and for the others, while keeping the principles of taxation and the decision of the council in mind. Those respects, and they are always, even otherwise, they are always welcome to make their point of view. But insofar as the review on the principles, I really don't think there is much of a possibility.
Okay. So this will require an amendment, as we also discussed the other day during the press conference, and likelihood that you will also have to file a plea in the Supreme Court against the pending court decision. What is the kind of timeline that we are looking? Will this be possible within this fiscal year?
It will be our endeavor to get the amendment bill as soon as possible, preferably, in the monsoon session itself. If we are able to draft the law, that will be our endeavor, and to then also request all the states to pass amendments to their respective state GST laws. And it gets into effect once all the states and the center are able to pass amendments to this law.
Okay. What is the
And of course, responding to your second question, which is related to the judgment of the Karnataka High Court, we will be filing an SLP. The process is already at a very advanced stage, and we shall be filing an SLP in the Supreme Court in this regard.
Okay. So what is the size and potential of the online gaming industry in terms of the contribution of revenues, and with the 28% tax, if we could draw some numbers on what is the kind of revenue expectation for the coming year?
So last fiscal, we got a revenue of an estimated amount of about 1700 crore rupees. Now that is at an effective tax rate of only, about 2 to 3%. So if the effective tax rate going forward is to be 28%, which is about 10 times, then the revenue can be as high as 10 times the amount that we got, provided, of course, that the volumes continue to be of the same order.
Okay. If we look at this decision, online gaming has been brought at par with betting and gambling. Now, there is another parallel, I think, concern with the industry, and that is also on the cryptocurrency or the virtual digital assets. Of course, you took a decision in the last budget of 30% income tax, but so what about indirect taxation? Would you be looking at GST on cryptocurrencies, on virtual digital assets, and has it already been under discussions?
No, there is no discussion insofar as a GST on cryptocurrency is concerned. It's a financial asset. So on financial assets, generally, there is no indirect tax. And so there is no such discussion right now. The proposal is not under consideration at all.
Okay. In terms of GOM on rate rationalization, of course, it requires reconstitution. How soon will you be taking that up? And also, on a lighter note, if I may ask, will you be considering or looking into the issue of merging slab rates anytime this year?
Yeah, so that's not on the lighter note, by the way. And that's not for me to say, because first of all, we have to get the GM reconstituted. That's again at a very advanced stage, because some ministers, as you are aware, Karnataka CM, government has changed, and there are some other couple of ministers who have changed. So that is at an advanced stage, and the reconstitution will take place quickly. As soon as that happens, I'm sure, the GM will put its act together, put its heads to it, and make their recommendations for rate rationalization, inversion of duties, exemptions, etc. These are the three terms of reference which have been given to this GOM.
Okay. In terms of yet another important decision, but on expected lines, was the 22% cess on utility vehicles. Those, sir, understanding from an auto perspective, a lot of companies have shared that it may not create a very big impact and was expected on the expected lines. But were the states in for this all? It's being said that the states wanted the panel to relook at this decision.
No, they were certainly in for this. Insofar this decision is concerned, again, this was a unanimous decision. It is all the states and the center. They wanted to have a relook at the whole automobile sector. So that has been agreed to. We will look at, the compensation cess rates for all the whole of the automobile sector. So that is something which is an expansion of this. This is part simplification which we have done. Because this distinction between popularly known as SUVs and those which are not popularly known as SUVs has been done away with, and all utility vehicles, irrespective of whether they are SUVs or XUVs, MUVs, they will be taxed at one rate insofar as compensation cess is concerned. And of course, there can be more work, there can be more simplification. This is something that is a continuous process, and it will continue to be carried out.
There is a room for further simplification that could, of course, after discussion with the industry.
Yes.
Okay. Yet another question, last one I'd like to consider on GST, and this is about the fake registrations, the bogus bills. What is the scale of fake registrations, and how's the department trying to, handle this leakage?
Yeah, this has been an area of concern for us for some time. In the initial phases of GST, certain relaxations were given to the industry so that they could adapt to this transformational change that was brought about. And so it is only, with respect to that, that now we are having a relook at all these changes. And the GST drive, All India drive that has been carried out has got good results. We have seen that about 25 to 30% of the suspected bogus firms which our analytics had thrown up are actually bogus, so action has been taken against them. And so, we continue to take action against those who are fraudulently misusing the systems and evading taxes, while at the same time also ensuring that the honest taxpayers are not in the process inconvenienced in any way.
So you're going to tighten the noose further in this year in terms of getting...
We have taken certain decisions both with respect to registration so that bogus firms first of all do not crop up, and then we have also taken certain decisions so that firms, whether bogus or not, are not able to create fake invoices and fake ITCs and indulge in tax evasion. So measures have been taken in this council for both. As I mentioned, it will always be our endeavor that while we do this, while we tighten, the noose on those who are the evaders, we don't make life more difficult or inconvenient for the honest taxpayers.
Got it. So one last question before we end this, and recently with your decision on credit cards being considered under LRS, there has been a lot of back and forth in this discussion. It's first with the rate at which the TCS would be imposed, and then of course consideration of credit card under LRS. Has this decision been put on hold or has it been taken back?
So there are two parts to it. One is the decision to implement the TCS on LRS and TAC and the foreign tour operators. Right. So that's whatever are the changes, those changes have been postponed to 1st October 2023 this year. So those have just been postponed. There is no, insofar as credit cards being under LRS when used abroad, that is a decision which has been put on hold, you very rightly pointed out. That is a decision not of this department, that is a decision of the DA, as you are aware. But yes, you are right, as of now it is on hold.
So that could be taken up in the future? Right?
That is for DA to decide, as and when they feel is the right moment, they will take a call on it.
Okay. Thank you so much for speaking with us on Business Today Television.
My pleasure. Thank you.
If you like the video, do like, comment, share and subscribe.